Hello, my mimics, and welcome back to another episode of the Mimic Commentary, episode 40. Oh my goodness, the big 4-0. What a tremendous occasion. We're switching up the build a bit. We're going to be using Rajir's Rapier, put on the Spelldrake Talisman because there's some magic damage down here, and kind of light on defenses. I guess I could go heavier, but I wanted like the aesthetic. I don't know. I guess I could still wear knight armor. I don't know. I wanted to kind of like light roll, but I don't think I could do that if I want a shield. We don't really have the stats for that yet. But I like how it looks. Maybe I gotta put on some Knight Greaves. Yeah, okay. He's a little heavier. Yeah, so underground. Pretty cool stuff happening. Before we go adventuring, let's just like scope it out. See what we see. See one of these obelisks. This one has a basin there for some fire, has some writing, and it's kind of giving that starlight glow on it. We'll investigate that when we get closer. Some of them over there. There's an item. We'll go pick that up. Lots of wildlife down here. Lots of deer. It makes me think of the Babylonian prophecy that we read. This is the Siofra River Well Depths, Grace, and this is the Siofra Riverbank. This place is just beautiful. There's something glowing up there. Yeah. It's pretty spectacular. We're really going to have to look around. And then we have this floating, frosty lightning ball and ascending gate. So, alright. So explore, see what we can find. I guess the best way to start is going backwards. More of our melted mushrooms. Actually, no, maybe I should try and kill one of these guys to see if I can get beast liver. Oh, here we go. Some of our first enemies. I have parry on. How's Phalanx do against them? Yeah, it's pretty good. Oh, yeah, that rapier will be good. Rapier down here. Maybe I should... I also bought a rune arc, so let's pop one of those. Yeah, that should help us out. I wanted to use the Beast Crest here shield because it had higher magic resistance, but it has parry on it, and that's not going to do us any good. So let's do... That has parry on it too. What has no skill attached? I guess we have to go with Eclipse. So what are these guys? So it looks like when the explorers, the Academy explorers who came from the Erdtree capital, studied the Academy, came here, it looks like these men, these ghostly spirits, attacked them. It looks like he's foraging. He's got fur raiments, bow and arrow, his horns on his head. Let's see if we can, what he looks like more closer. Very ghostly looking. Gives out like a spectral type of like blood, like a white blood, and then just disappears. So we have some spirits down here. Sorry, buddy. Then Beastbone. I was trying to get the budding horns. What other could I... Maybe I don't need the magic. Does this help our R2s? Let's do this, because we're going to be doing guard counters. What does this guy have? Armorer's Cookbook. Okay, so this guy has a cookbook from Radon. So, although he is a noble sorcerer from the Erdtree, studied at the Academy of Raya Lucaria, he has a record of crafting techniques left by an armorer served to Great General Radon to create preserving boluses. And to create preserving boluses, this is to alleviate scarlet rot. You need dew-kissed herba, sacramental buds, and crystal cave moss. So we haven't seen any sacramental buds yet. Looks like a little red flower. We haven't seen any crystal cave moss either. But we have the dew-kissed herba. So to fight off scarlet rot, you need these... what is exactly it's called? What do they call them? Oh wait, it's probably in my most recent. We need the, this soaked in arcane dew. So arcane dew, the faint glow of starlight, this spirit, starlight's this spirits and all that, that's how you fight off scarlet rot. And we learned from soap that cleans off filth and other accumulants in the body while also slightly reducing poison buildup. Poison and rot, they're hand in hand. They're good friends. Filth covering the exterior eventually seeps inside, soiling one's very spirit. Spirit tuning, it's all connected here. Why would this place have Ducist herba soaked? Why couldn't you use regular herba is what I'm trying to get at. Well, it looks like to fight off scarlet rot with preserving boluses, you can't just use regular herba. You can't just use the medicinal plant. You need the arcane dew. You need the faint glow of starlight. You need this soul kind of medicine. You need spirit medicine. Because filth can soil one's very spirit. So you're not just cleansing your body when you consume a preserving bolus, you're also cleansing your soul. You also need crystal cave moss. Well, we can think crystal, glintstone crystal, so you need a catalyst for it. And then the sacramental bud. Sacramental. So when we get to sacramental bud, we'll try and look at that more, why that is. But we can see, there's a little bit of spirit magic going on in Radahn's army because of these cookbooks. And it looks like this is our second thing of finding sacramental bud. We have the soap. Rot and poison must be an issue down here. It must be. The culture down here must have an issue with poison. And we have to talk about the poison mist, which is an incantation of the servants of rot. You remember the guys dressed up like mushrooms? We found them in the Weeping Peninsula. Those who dwell within poison know rot all too well. Okay, so poison and rot, they're hand in hand. The death that begets life, that comes to all equally. That is to say, it is the cycle of rebirth put into practice. And when we think of rebirth, we think of the larval tear, the core of a creature of mimicry known as a silver tear. And so far, everything here is silver. Makes you have to think. Are these mimics? Is this a mimic herba? Is this a mimic mushroom? Is this mimic flesh? Mimic brand soap. Buy yours today. It's not it's a copy, but not an imposter. So, very cool. Things like, this is what's fun about doing mimic commentary stuff. And just playing Elden Ring like this in general, is you get a cookbook, and the location of the cookbook, who's holding the cookbook, what it teaches you, that can just tell you so much about what the game wants you to know. Here's a new obelisk. I think, this is new. So first, there's some writing inscriptions. It's gibberish, doesn't mean anything. And we can light the basin, and when we light it, boom, that one does. So we have to find more basins and light them. They look like they all have the same relief on them, so let's read from the top down. When I first did my videos, I was reading from the bottom up. So this is very similar to this one. So what's different here? We have all these people standing around like this maybe spiral tree, then the trees, then a table, then a box, men sitting around by pillars. And we can actually see up there, that's a building with a bunch of pillars. Maybe it's that building. Maybe these are the same spots. So we have what could either be ships, they could be towers. Originally I thought they were towers in the wind, towers in the sea. They could be ships, they could be towers. Trees, cultivating the trees, doing whatever the hell this is, going to the box, and then sitting in the pillars. I don't know. We need more information. This place, absolutely beautiful. More of these petrified trees. And what do we have up here? Alright. Our map. Let's pick up this puppy. Here's our Siofra River. So we came down here. This is... We weren't there. This looks like a city center. We know what it is. This is right above us. Look at that. There's a city up there. We can actually see more of that city from this angle. I wonder if a telescope would show it. Yeah. Oh, whoa. What the hell is that? What is that thing? Wow. Big area. This is going to be multiple episodes. We can see the water is coming down this way? Yeah, so it flows this way. Also flows that way. And there's more water over here, and there's more water over there. Let's see what the map says. Map of Siofra River and environs. 2 great rivers flow beneath the lands between. The Siofra and the Ancestral. This vast region is said to be the grave of a civilization. This vast region is said to be the grave of civilizations that flourished before the Erd Tree. Oh, uh-oh. So, last we had is Siofra is like from Irish folklore, Gaelic, I think, folklore or whatever, for changelings and fairies. And Ancestral is from a fairy tale collective about Scottish folk tales. So, both of them relating to Scottish, I guess, like changelings, fairies, Scottish, Gaelic. And we know the dancer in blue, the blind swordsman, and the dancer in blue represents a fairy. So the flowing rivers and their fairies. The big interesting thing here is this is a vast region said to be the grave of civilizations that flourished before the Erd Tree. So obviously it's before the Erd Tree. It's underground. So you know, we're the world exists. This world exists. And then maybe something the Eternals do, something the Claymen do, something the Sellians do. They, you know, this civilization dies, and a new world is built on top, and then we get the Erd Tree. So that's very interesting. Let's go look over here and what we have. These are the Hollow Horn grounds. What do we see here? We see, looks like, oh, there's that statue we saw broken, and we can see that it looks like a person when it's fully formed. This looks like a religious area, and then there is a dead moose with plants growing from its horns. We'll investigate that more when we can, but it isn't this cool. Here's some of that. Looks like, is this, how far does that go? What happens if I throw a rainbow stone? Is it gonna go all the way down or break? But we could just see these pillars, these trees. Deep, deep, deep. So this, even though we're deep below ground, it's even further. It goes even more. It looks like this is all water. There's our false night sky. What do we have this way? There's some of the pillar places. That kind of looks like tree bark to me. That kind of looks like a tree to me. This too, like, this is a tree, and then this is a tree, right? So, I'm getting the world above is built on top of these trees. Very evocative of Dark Souls and the Arch Trees. Very evocative of Bloodborne and the in the Dream. Very interesting stuff. Alright, let's do a little bit more exploration. Alright, more of our foragers. Oh good, he's facing our direction so we can look at him better. You don't see me, right? Yeah. Oh, puppy's talking. So let's see. Yeah, it looks like he's just foraging. But he's a ghost of some sort, so why is a ghost foraging? Is this the people who used to live here? Are these the people who used to live in these ruins? Let's see if we can get their items so we can talk about it. Man, I like Raju's right there. It's pretty good. Oh, he's casting a spell. What does that do? These, like, black souls things? Those remind me of, like, the Dark Souls pursuers. His weapon has horns. He's just casting it non-stop. What does that do? Oh, my defenses. Look at that. Minus 25. So we gotta take him out. Actually, if he's not gonna attack me, let's watch this for a second. Okay, so they're foraging for Dukist Herba. So if these are spirits, maybe they're interested in like more spirit magic. Maybe this is the type of spirit magic. He takes this horned instrument and he spirals it around in a circle. He's spiraling it. and this black and white. Like, what are they? They remind me a bit of, like, Rancor Call a bit, but they don't have the faces. Here, let's cast Rancor Call and see if it looks similar. Kinda. This is more white and black, I guess. That was kind of more blue. Oh, no! And 10 beast bones. Alright, so they're hunting animals too. Hunter-gatherer society living down here. Are these the original inhabitants, or perhaps are they, you know, just people who were left behind here? Maybe people who came here afterwards. You know, they look like a hunter-gathering society. They most likely did not build these old grand structures. This is a grave of a civilization. You know, whatever their religion looks like, it probably, you know, these might look like gods built these things, like gods built these ruins. You know, who knows what they think this world looks like to them. Do they even know about the above ground? Do they think this is all life is under this false night sky? Do they know there's a world above them? That's interesting. What do you have here? Huh, arteria leaves. This is, so somebody who is related to people who eat, exalted flesh. Oops. Chieftains of the Badlands like this. Another campsite. Alright. This guy died on his bed. And we got the inverted hawk heater shield. A medium-sized shield, easier to handle than a kite shield. The inverted hawk is the emblem of the company of slaves ordered to explore the Eternal City. Okay. Well, when we think of hawks, we should be thinking of the storm hawks, the hawk crest. So, inverted hawk heater shield, the hawk crest of Stormvale. We think of banished knights and the exiled soldiers. So now we're seeing who is sent down here and why. This place is dangerous. This place is unknown. Let us send sorcerers and their slaves, I guess. You know, maybe these guys are Erd Tree nobles, noble sorcerer Ash, who studied at the academy and then are given slaves from Stormvale, from the Limgrave region, to explore the Eternal City. And it's very dangerous. There's claymen. There's giant animals. There's these ghosts that come in and out. Very interesting stuff. Let's see. We have a lot of places to go. So, you know, I'm gonna go. Maybe we should go to the right and then left. No, I'll go left first. We'll go left. Gotta make sure we see everything. Let's see what happens when we get close to one of these things. Oh, goodness. They do a lot of damage. And then they disappear. Alright, so some lightning power. And it looks, you know, it's very cold. It's ice. Huh. Another sending gate. I don't want to use that yet. I kind of want to explore and then start using them. Somber smithing stones. Okay, did he bring this down here, or did he find it down here? I'm surprised I could see those guys from such far away. Oh, there's parry on the shield. No! My great rune. I gotta be more careful. You know, my build isn't very good, and we're being very I don't have many rune arcs, so I gotta be a little bit more careful. I'm also speaking quietly now because, you know, there's other people in the house and they're trying to sleep. So I want to fight these guys here first, and then we'll go look at the interesting stuff. Now, since I have, let's do that. Okay. So here's our interesting. I think I figured out what we need to do. I figured out what our problem was. I wasn't using my head. Now look what's here. A Trina lily. Oh boy. Alright. Remember, symbol of the faith in Saint Trina, dulls the senses, prevents agitation. She is like the saint of sleep. And when we find a Trina lily, we're supposed to look and listen. What do we see? That's what she wants us to do. So maybe that's my problem. Well, we could see 2 generations of structures going on here. We see this kind of black buildings, these black buildings in the background that are kind of more modern. Maybe more futuristic. Who knows? We haven't seen anything like that on the surface. And then white stone. Very white stone. We see these petrified trees all over the place. They look like they may have been felled. Or maybe they just grow like this. They look like maybe they're growing stone pillar trees. They're kind of silvery too. Maybe they are kind of like mimic trees. I don't know if we're at the point where I could just say, is that a mimic? Is this a mimic tree? Maybe we could. Like down here. What is real down here? You know, are all these animals real? Like, are they original animals? Are they creatures of mimicry? Maybe that's the way we have to start doing this. Maybe it's been 40 episodes. We could start asking, are these mimics? What's mimicking what? Alright, hornbow. Can I use this without being... Ooh, longbow made from an animal horn, wielded by the master hunters of the ancestral followers. Alright, now we have a name for these people. Imbues arrows fired with magic damage. Reveals its true worth with using magic-fused arrows. Can I make any magic arrows? I cannot. Well, that's going to be interesting when we can. Let's see what it looks like. Does it actually do magic when I shoot them? No. But the bow does a little bit of magic damage. It's a good looking bow. It looks good. Okay. Man, maybe that's the conversation we have to have. You know, it's 40 episodes in. We have to start asking ourselves, although this drops a sliver of meat, is it a mimic? You know what I'm saying? Like, is it like one of these mushrooms? So we see these mushrooms growing around over here. This Ducust herba. Is it eventually going to turn gold? Like, you know what I'm saying? Or is it always going to be silver? When does a mimic stop being a mimic? We fought the rune bear. We get spirit springs here. We see one or more of our obelisks. We got birds down here. They have everything's here. We fought our first mimic. Was a noble. He looked just like any other noble. And then, oh, we got a new. It's the same. This is a higher one, but it's the same thing. He was a noble, but then he turned into a bear, and he just looked like a rune bear. He didn't look like, it wasn't like, you know, wasn't like this, and wasn't like this, wasn't like this. It wasn't, you know, gold versus silver. It just looked like a rune bear. So who's to say that these trees aren't mimic trees? Like, could these trees be made of the same thing as melted mushrooms and Ducust herba? Could they also be made of larval tears? I don't know. Stone sword key, that's not going to help you down here. And who do we have across the way? A crucible knight. You stuck, buddy? What are you looking at? Yeah, looks like a tree. So that thing's built on a big old tree. Which way do we go to get more loot? Like all of this. Oh, uh-oh. That's weird. Okay. So even though we're underground, the buildings are built into the ceiling. So this city, this newer city, these aren't. These are built upwards. These cities are built downwards into the roof of this building. Okay, so, and they're upside down, kind of. Oh, goodness. That too. Okay. So, I'm thinking this civilization, this eternal city, this white stone stuff, this was built first. Then it was buried. After it was buried, these cities were built underground. Or maybe they were built afterwards, then they were buried, and then they built additional structures into the ceiling, but I don't think so. The well The well, the magical well. You know, who could make something like this? Well, you'd have to be able to build like a building like that, a spire into the roof of a giant struck cave like this. You must be like really technologically advanced. So perhaps that is the Eternals. This is why they're investigating the Eternal City. Because this is like, who are these people? What are they doing down here? Why do they have mushrooms that are melting and made of oil? The Eternal City. Are they tied to America the Eternal in some way? The long-lived finger readers. Here we go. We got our magic arrows. Arrow in which the spirits of small animals are thought to dwell. Used by the Master Hunters and Ancestral Followers. Okay. Alright. Let's see what that looks like. Anything up here? Nope. Oh my god. My poor rune arcs. It's not fair. You know, we didn't really inspect the structures here. A lot of flower, a lot of plant stuff. Alright, tree worshippers. Yada yada. Let's pick up our trees. Our little golden trees. That was bogus. That was a bogus death. I call foul on that one. Alright, we're zigzagging. We're going left and right. Oh, jeez. Okay, let's see how these magic arrows look. Wrong one. Oh, cool. Alright. So we're getting more of that spirit working. These are the Ancestral Followers. Now, they're imbuing their weapons with very primitive spirits and small animal spirits. We're seeing that the Eternal Cities have, they collect Starlight Shards, and they make this great technology with spirit magic, it looks like. So, it looks like these Ancestral Followers came down here. Or maybe they were created here, like, because they're all spirits and stuff? I don't know. Maybe they were created here, and they are just learning the, you know, they figured, they made these techniques based on what they learned from what they found. You know, maybe that's what's going on. It's not upgrade, let's not use it. We're just wasting arrows. That's 2. Okay, alright, where are we going? Maybe... Hey friend, what do you got? Golden runes. Oh. Another Trina lily and a bunch of boars. What's this supposed to tell us? Oh, I didn't know you could do that. Glintstone blade. Oh, ooh, that's the play. All right, Trina lily. What do we want to look and see? Ancestral follower with 4 boars. Does that mean anything? Well, I guess it just means Trina. Saint Trina has a connection down here. You know, this is kind of the most what do you call it? What's the word I'm looking for? Like the most, not congested, but like concentration of Trina lilies, I think. So far it's just 2, so close to each other. And we're going to find something else that's pretty interesting soon, too. More of our octopi. It looks like our aquatic animals have the white flesh. So are these white-fleshed animals? Are they mimic animals? The blood of humans is how they is their what do you call it? What should probably do? That would be probably good for us. we did it. Yeah, one of my ideas is that they have all this white blood. Well, they're bloodless, but the land octopi requires human flesh. We find them down here. It could be the case that the land octopi come from up above, and their eggs just float down the rivers, and then they just come down here. But because they're the bloodless creatures, that makes me think there's something more to it. There's something more to what they are and what they represent. And here, oh boy. Let's I guess fight this stuff and we can talk about what do we got over here. All right. So we have our Trina lily, and look and listen, and what do we see down here? Nascent butterflies, so many of them. Now, if you don't defeat the grafted scion and fall to your death chasing these butterflies, this would be the first time you see nascent butterflies, most likely. This is as soon as you can find them. And look how many there are. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Holy moly, 5 nascent butterflies. Now, we were talking about last episode, do the butterflies represent maybe like a god or a faction? Because there's the fire ones, there's the twin maiden husks, like the metamorphosis. There is the butterfly effect, which is huge in George R. R. Martin's writing. He writes everything in the butterfly effect. The idea that a butterfly flaps its wings in the Jurassic, and that changes the whole of the history of the world. So the butterfly effect is happening down here. Whatever happened down here led to what happened up above. The history of this place is important for the story that's happening right now. Our Tarnish. Why we are in the lands between is directly tied to whatever is going on down here. It's tied directly to the Eternal Cities, to this star magic. It's tied to all of it. We're not going to go there yet. We have other ways to go. So we can see there's a path going out there, and there's all this scaffolding. So our explorers of slaves and scientists, they came down here. And they're probably trying to learn what this butterfly effect is. What happened in this place. I'd also like you all to think about what you know about the butterflies. Obviously, what is the consensus that we have on the butterflies with more knowledge than I'm presenting right now. What could that mean for what we're seeing down here? Alright, I have to end the episode here because Kyra is misbehaving. I see our grace. I see our waypoint. I think by next episode we're going to go that way, and we're going to go back that way. Yeah, we're going to have a lot of fun. Hope we're having fun. It's hard, when you first come down into the Siofra River, you don't know what you're looking at. And that's how we're trying to play. Like, we don't know what's going on here. Like, there's so much different stuff, like, clashing with each other. And God, it's so spectacular, isn't it? Really so spectacular. But we're going to figure it out. We're going to figure it out piece by piece. These explorers, they didn't figure out, but we will. All right, everybody. See you in the next one. Let's do the thing.